welcome to my video. So in this video I'm going to be talking about, I just put Gentoo on my B550F. This is an ASUS PC, it's my ASUS Prime Plus board. So basically what I did, I made a stage 4 on my B-Link and I basically just migrated to this system which has a spare hard drive, and I just basically put the system back. I untarred the stage 4 and basically redone my FS tab and install grub and remake the configuration file and basically change the GPU because one is AMD and this one here is NVIDIA. I had installed NVIDIA drivers and that's pretty much it. Oh, and I had to basically add the GPU, the video card inside make.conf and take out AMD GPU and put NVIDIA instead. So the system working pretty good, though I think I'm not in Wayland, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm on the X11 display server. I figure that because when I load up OBS, it seems to be like the old school way, the original way of doing things. So that's how I know it. But that's good. I don't want to be on Wayland anyways on Gentoo or on with an NVIDIA card. I think this is good. It's good for me. It's good for me for now. So now if I want to open up Tuon Music Box, it does this. It's weird. You can't really see it. It's kind of, you don't see it. You can't move it. But you kind of see the application. I mean, well, you see like it just doesn't show it. I don't know what's the deal with that, man. Does it even play anything? Well, it works. You just can't see it. And I'm gonna stop it because I don't want to like play music then I'll get a copyright strike, you know. I don't know, or a copyright thing on my video. But I didn't know it was gonna work. It actually works, but you just can't see the GUI box. So pretty much I install things, but look, watch this. When you basically let's say if I want to install FFmpeg. So basically FFmpeg is broken due to Mesa and Vulkan, and I thought it was just on my end because I've been having problems, but I thought maybe it's just me. I'm a stupid idiot, you know what I mean? Why didn't it want to work? Oh, I do have FFmpeg installed, but it's being very fussy here right now. What? But why? Oh, use. So they want me to use. Oh, I see. So since I don't need to use Vulkan, that makes sense. So basically I have to use, it's telling me to use NVNC encoder, NVIDIA encoder. So we'll do that. And whoops, and we'll do Opus, I guess, because I thought I already. Okay, let's try it now. When I say it's plus, it doesn't mean to put a plus. It's just you just don't put a minus. So that should work. So that's what I need. So different machines, different FFmpeg will. So like FFmpeg should actually work pretty good in this system. I just by default, if you don't include the NVIDIA, it won't work. I think it'll work this time. So I'm probably gonna have to recompile Firefox, because I had to actually took I when I did on my B-Link, I didn't use Firefox. I didn't use maybe I that's probably why that didn't work. Maybe I didn't include Vulkan on my B-Link. I'm curious, it's like all that time, like I don't know. Anyways, FFmpeg should just compile normally. But anyways, so I'm compiling FFmpeg. This should work because it doesn't really need Vulkan. It can use the NVIDIA stuff, so that's good. So I actually find Gentoo will work really well. Well, despite the Flatpak audio player program, I could always get a different program anyways to play music. But despite that application doesn't work, well, it works. It just you can't see it. But it seems to be working pretty good in this system. A lot better than on the B-Link. Is this thing gonna crash? Yeah. So it is still crashing with see Vulkan. Even if I add like the NVIDIA codecs or encode or whatever like thing, it's still like wants to use Vulkan. So yeah, that's unfortunate. So for me to install, because if I want to install VLC, let's say if I just do like, because it requires FFmpeg, but let's say like if I just want to do VLC here, it's gonna want to require FFmpeg. It probably FFmpeg. It doesn't show it here, but it probably will include it. Maybe, I don't know. Unless I probably already have. Yes, true. I already have FFmpeg. I already have FFmpeg installed, but I just don't have it installed with Vulkan. So it will work, VLC. So because of I don't have. Well, I have FFmpeg. It's not compiled with Vulkan. I had to disable Vulkan, but it's okay. Like that's how I got. The reason why I have FFmpeg, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to use OBS at the moment. At the moment, I'm really tired, man. my previous video, me recording. Me kind of being pissed off at Linux. I'm not mad at Linux. I'm kind of like Gentoo is really fussy on that B-Link. I don't know what it is, but it's really fussy on it. Like, see, like the application loads up on this system, but you can't see it. Like the 2-on music box. When I load it up on the B-Link, the music box application, you know what it does? It crashes GNOME and it goes back to it goes to GDM, and it does it every time I try to launch it. And I'm in Wayland on that as well. And when I try to use Xorg, it basically just shows a black screen with a cursor. It doesn't even want to go to X11 session. It only works on Wayland, which is really weird. Maybe it's something I have configured with Gentoo, but probably, I don't know. I tend to think I know what I'm doing. I mean, obviously, I got the system installed. It's working. It's doing its thing, man. I'm kind of a little pissed off with Linux. It's not really Linux fault. I'm kind of mad with the open source part where like a backdoor just got slipped in so easily. Like, I mean, it was pretty clever. Like this person that developed it is pretty smart, but still, like I think that I think we need to be more cautious with our code, like when, especially like trusting people. I know a lot of these like projects that are like open source projects. I know I didn't really talk much about it in my other video because I was complaining about Linux a lot, but I did mention about backdoors and all that crap. But yeah, like what happens is that people tend to kind of trust a little bit too easily, I find. Like me, if I would see a Gia Tang, I would question this user because like when you search this person's name, you can't find any information like at all, like nothing. Like you search it in Google, there's no information about this person. It's like I don't know, it's something weird. Because the main developer, something weird about him as well. I don't want to like point fingers of what went down, but there's something up with both of these developers, and I don't know. Something just doesn't add. Something doesn't add up. And the reason why I'm not using systemd because systemd is very exploitable. The reason why. There's a backdoor on OpenSSH is all to do with systemd and its dependencies with lib lzma. So yeah, that ain't good. But anyways, I'm using the down version of it, but Arch Linux don't seem to want to downgrade XZ. But I did. So, yeah. I do love Gentoo. I'm going to stick with Gentoo. I'm going to stick with OpenRC as well. I'm also going to set up... so VLC is should work, right? Let's just load it up. It works. It actually works. It's not crashing the system. Good. No, it seems pretty stable on my desktop. On my B-Link, the B-Link really likes Fedora. I remember Fedora on B-Link, man. It works perfectly fine. Everything works good on B-Link. Since I did, like, I will do an update on my B-Link. Since after that video, I did an upgrade on my Gentoo system. So Bluetooth also works. Some of the problems that I had before got resolved. But the Bluetooth started working again. But the PC still sometimes randomly power off, but it's been actually stable today. It didn't did anything like that, but yesterday before I went to bed, it just powered off. I load up gedit or GNOME editor, and I was just configuring it, and it just power off the system. Just like GDM crashed so hard that it just shuts down the computer, and that's what it does. Like it shuts it right down. Like I'm not sure if it's shutting down to prevent things from being corrupted or something with the system, but it just powers off. And I see laptops do this too in the past. When I had a laptop computer, I think my ThinkPad done it a few times with Linux. When GNOME crashed, and it just basically shut the laptop right off. Maybe it was my ThinkPad, or it could have been a laptop I had in the past. But I know I've seen it before happen on laptop hardware. It would just shut the computer off. Since the B-Link is not a laptop, but it's using laptop hardware, pretty much. Mini PCs are basically laptop hardware. Like it'll use like laptop processors. That's why like you can put things such in a small like form factor, because laptops basically are small little computers. But the reason why a laptop is bigger because it has a screen, has a keyboard and everything. So it's basically like a computer all in one. As a B-Link, it's basically taking components of the laptop and basically like really just in a small form factor, and basically you just buy your own peripherals for it and a display, which would probably cost a little bit more money. But since I already have a TV for other things, I just hook up my B-Link. I use my B-Link mostly on that with the TV anyways, because I like to watch YouTube, and it's nice to watch on a big screen. Even playing like streaming games on it, it works pretty well. It works really good with Windows. But as with Linux, with Gentoo for one thing, I'll keep Gentoo on it, but I think I'm gonna be using Windows more on this. But this system here, I can use both. I can use Windows and Linux, but mostly I'll probably keep this box here using Gentoo. It give me a reason to go on this computer because I've been kind of ignoring my two Asus PCs. Well, my other Asus PC is basically a gaming machine. I just run Final Fantasy 14 on it. That's all I do with that computer. I just run Final Fantasy 14, and that's all. It's always running Final Fantasy 14. So that computer there, I can just pick up my controller and start playing Final Fantasy 14 because I love that game, and I just leave it on because I don't have to load it up. I just it doesn't boot me off. It keeps my character on there 24/7, so I just leave it there. I pay for the sub. I pay to leave my character on the server. So yeah, I always do that. I've been doing that for years actually. So yeah, that computer I basically just use it to play Final Fantasy 14. So I did got the dog. The doggo from Final Fantasy 16, and you can it has an emote where my character just pets the dog. I know you can't see it, but so that computer always runs Final Fantasy 14. So I'm going to leave Gentoo on this system. I do have Windows on as well, but I mean, I'm going to leave it on Gentoo. That I'll just basically use Gentoo on it. And my B-Link, I want to use Gentoo on that as well, but I will just basically leave. I'll probably use Windows on it, but I do have Gentoo on this system here. It works really well, and I really like Gentoo a lot. The time is not right though. How do you do that with NTP? I don't have NTP. So in Gentoo, NTP Gentoo. Why is NTP ain't working? Eh? Oh. So I think I need to do that. Let's do NTP date -b-u -0 Gentoo pool.ntp. I don't understand why it doesn't work with OpenRC. I add all the stuff to it. Oh, I guess you gotta do that in root, right? Okay. All right. That's the right time. I add if I do this, so sudo rc service ntp client start. See, I add it in there, but every time like I boot up, I see like an error message. So let's do sudo rc update add ntp client default. It's already installed, but when I load up the system, I always see it failing to work, or the service. It does that on my B-Link as well, but this is what the handbook tells me to do, and I follow everything what it tells me to do with NTP. But anyways, at least the clock is right. It's not 7 o'clock in the morning. It's actually 10 o'clock in the morning. So that's good. Yeah. Well, I am back on Gentoo. I am no longer going to use Arch Linux. There's a lot of reasons why I don't want to use Arch Linux. For one thing, it gives me only one choice to use an init system, so I rather have choices. And Arch Linux is forced to only use systemd, so I don't want to use Arch anymore. And also, I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't like about Arch. I don't like AOR. I don't trust AOR. I think that's crappy package management. It's very unsecure. I like Gentoo. Gentoo's better. It's source based. I like it for the fact that I can just migrate it onto another computer. Like I set up Gentoo on this box here. It took me probably less than 30 minutes. And yeah, I know to manually configure it doesn't take that long. But it's already set up. I got the programs, I got my desktop, everything's set up. I just use stage 4 and I basically put the system from my B-Link onto this system easily. Instead of using stage 3, I just use stage. I make my own custom stage 4, and I like that. I like that about Gentoo, and works really good. And yeah, I love that feature a lot, to be honest. And it's a good backup too. So yeah, back on Gentoo. I'm not gonna put it on my gaming box. My gaming box will just run Windows, but this system here will run Windows and Gentoo, and my B-Link will run Windows and Gentoo. But I think I'm gonna run Windows on my B-Link for the most part because it works better with Windows. But I will time to time go on Gentoo and update it, and basically see if it's progressing to work better on the B-Link. Because I always had problems running Gentoo on the B-Link in the past, as you may see in my previous video. But yeah, I still use it. I'm just hoping that it'll work really good one day on the B-Link. Who knows? But I do have Windows if I ever need a good system that will work stable on it. And it's not because I like Windows or I don't like Linux. I love Linux, and I could easily live without Windows. But I don't know. I don't hate Windows, to be honest. So I do hate on it a lot, but I can hate on Linux as well. I can hate on FreeBSD. I can hate on a lot of systems. I just, when a system is pissing me off, I just sort of get mad at it. But in reality, obviously I like Linux. Linux is my favorite operating system. It just, the B-Link, I don't know, it's fussy. It's just I don't want to run Gentoo. I want to run Windows. Pretty much what it's telling me. But I still run Gentoo on it because I'm fussy too. So there. We're going to clash. Anyways, have a good one, guys. Thanks for the watch. And get ready for me to do more videos on Gentoo because that's what I'm going to be using from now on. And also, I actually posted a Reddit. I posted a screenshot of my desktop and I put back on Gentoo and staying. Which is true because I'm not leaving Gentoo. I'm ditching Arch Linux and I'm gonna stick with Gentoo. I've been liking Gentoo for a while now since last year, end of last year, and beginning of this year. If you guys may notice, I've been pretty much into Gentoo for a while now. And the reason why I stopped using Gentoo is because I was having problems with KDE. KDE was the problem, it wasn't Gentoo. And it just kind of made my experience with Gentoo kind of shitty. And I was thinking it's more like it's all Gentoo. It's just not working good. But it was mainly KDE that wasn't not working good. But no, Gentoo works pretty good. It works pretty good with GNOME. GNOME is really buggy though. But it works pretty good on the NVIDIA GPU. But it's pretty buggy on my B-Link. Yeah, with Wayland. This is not using Wayland, so it's stable with NVIDIA drivers. It actually works pretty good. This is actually a pretty good system. I really like it. It actually works good. I didn't have any problems using Gentoo on this box, and this is gonna probably be the main system on this box. It'd be Gentoo. I do have Windows on it, but I'm gonna use Gentoo mostly on it. Also, I'm gonna install VirtualBox. So I need to install VirtualBox. I think that's how it is on here. I'm not sure if it's VirtualBox in lowercase. Yeah. So I'm gonna install VirtualBox, and I'm gonna be on my days off. I'm off Sunday and Monday. So on Sunday, Sunday night, I'll probably, most likely, will download Funtoo, and I'm gonna do a VM of Funtoo inside a VM, and I'll probably make a video on me just playing around with Funtoo. It's by the same, or it was by the same developer that done Gentoo, and he actually made another one called Funtoo system. So I'm gonna set that up manually with the handbook, and just do a video. Like I'll just record me, because I never used it before, so it'll be like my first time like setting it up and everything in the VM. And yeah, I'm not sure if you guys will be interested. It'll be a long video because it takes a while to set up these kind of systems, but I'll be doing a lot of pausing if it needs to compile stuff. That way I'll just make the video not as long as it would be. So that's what I'll probably be doing for my next video. I'll be playing around with Funtoo and recording it. So get ready for that video, and get ready for me messing up a system. Probably not. I use Gentoo, so Funtoo should be quite similar to Gentoo, because it basically is Gentoo. It's similar to Gentoo. Well, it's by the same person that done Gentoo, so it should have a lot of familiar things that are like similar. Anyways, I don't want to make this video too long, but it's becoming long, and I'm just ranting about stuff. But yeah, I really am back. I'm glad to be back on Linux. I kind of just left Linux when I heard about that backdoor. I just went straight. I installed Windows. I'm like, nope. I deleted all my Linux systems. I'm like, okay, I'll stay off of Linux for the time being. But I was like, man, I miss Linux. But I didn't want to use Arch Linux. Definitely don't want to use Arch Linux. I don't think Arch Linux is a safe system, to be honest. But Gentoo is good. I went on Windows. I sit there, and I was doing some thinking while I was actually doing a lot of research. I was actually watching a lot of videos on this backdoor with XZ, and pretty much thinking about what Linux system I'm going to use. I was actually planning to just ditch Linux altogether and go on BSD, but I realized I need a Linux system because of certain applications, and just basically Linux have a lot more support when it comes to drivers and graphics and all that stuff compared to FreeBSD. So I like FreeBSD, don't get me wrong. I think it's a good system, but I think it's more of a server system. And so that's why I choose Gentoo, because Gentoo is very similar to FreeBSD on the Linux side, and also it has a lot of good support. Gentoo, and Gentoo is a really good system. I just like Gentoo. I like it. Okay, it's not for everybody, but it's definitely for me. I really like Gentoo a lot, and I use it a lot. I used to really suck at Gentoo, but now I'm pretty good at it. I've been using Gentoo a lot lately, and I really freaking love this system. Anyways, have a good one, guys. Cheers.